Come on and rock me. Long time no see. Do you have a little time? I wanna know what's been going on in your life. Brings back memories. Rock me tonight for old time's sake.
It's like this. The masses, the hungry people, they outweigh the rich. So as long as I appeal to the hungry and the poverty-stricken people, it's all good. I'm gonna have a job for life. It's these rich people who worried about the fooling the poor people. It's these rich people who worried about the fooling the poor people.
There's a weird game that goes on because now, as a result of your art, you're becoming one of the rich.
Yes.
Baidu beliefs in music artists persist. One contributing factor is likely the fact that media have exposed them to us repeatedly. In the original video, we used lean and honor to explain mind control. For this version, we will simply use quotes. Understanding the part of the programming that we received. Programming is whenever you get to the repetition. Whenever you hear a rap song, there are things that are going to be said over and over again. There are going to be words that are going to be used over and over again. There are going to be particular phrases. They're going to be said over and over again. And the repetition becomes a program. Anytime you get the repetition of a thing, it becomes a program.
Thug life is the only thing up in the 90s. Thug life, I mean like a little bit, then thug life like a lot. My thug life niggas in thug life. What thug life niggas be the craziest? Thug life niggas be the craziest. If they ask you, you tell it. I'm with that thug life. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, okay, who we thug life. Thug life, y'all don't forget that shit. What type nigga is the thug life nigga? You know, police, just some thug niggas popping from block to block. I want to get it clear that thug life is not one thing. No, but I'm a thug, and they thugs. They can relate to thug life thing. Come, we finna go and represent thug life out there.
Wait a minute. Didn't I already hear a group called Thug something? Who is Thug Life? But this the original. We are the original thugs.
Cause these white folks see us as thugs. We thugs and niggas to these motherfuckers.
Thug Life.
No shit.
Thug Life. Thug Life. That's my cover.
What's that mean?
Thug Life, that's the posse. That's my new posse. That's my new way of thinking. That's how we roll.
Militant. You know what I'm saying? I'm a thug. I'm a thug, and my definition of thug comes from.
Yes, I am gonna say that I'm a thug. I'm not saying I'm a thug because I want.
There's no love for a thug. There's no heaven for a thug, and there's no love for a thug.
All about that thug life, and they think thug life is a rap group. Nuh-uh. No.
I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda. Terrorist, terror organization, terrorist attacks, terrorism, terrorist network, terrorist attacks, terrorist group, terrorists, terrorist, terrorists, instruments of terror, a terror network, terror cells, terrorists, terrorizing terror and murder.
The key to mind control is repetition. If you say things enough over and over again, people begin to believe and begin to accept it because it's repeated over and over. In the absence of adequate intellectual process or critical thinking, people will accept the program because it's repeated over and over and over again. So if you look at the rap lyrics, you begin to figure out which phrases and which words are being said over and over. You can figure out what the program is because of its repetition.
This on cable, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool for us to be like outlandish. 2 times quick in the 90s, and we drinking and smoking weed all the time. We hot till I die, you know what I'm saying? We ain't stopping. What type nigga is the thug life nigga? Thug life nigga be the craziest!
The word thug was originally, and often still is, a term with strong negative connotations. The word carries a coded, alternate meaning of a person behaving badly. Tupac, who glamorized the term thug life and gave it a layered meaning.
H-U-G-L-I-F-E. The hate you gave little infant, U-C-K, everybody. Meaning, what you feed us as seeds,
grows and blows up in your face. That's thug life.
In the 90s and you drinking and smoking weed the whole time. We high till I die, you know what I'm saying? We ain't stopping. Can't nobody fuck with us either. I'm with that thug life. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
I'ma really live this lifestyle, and I'ma make other motherfuckers really live this lifestyle.
I'ma really live this lifestyle, and I'ma make other motherfuckers really live this lifestyle.
12th grade. Some people graduate from high school and don't seek to do anything else. So they continually live the thug life.
I'ma make other motherfuckers really live this lifestyle.
But I'm doing it for the kid that really lives a thug life and feels like it's hopeless. And when I say it like that, it's like I reach him. But for the person that I was trying to reach, he'll pick it up and I'll be able to talk to him again.
You may have noticed that, when people use the term thugs, it becomes easier to forget their humanity. We start to use extermination concepts like, clear them out, or get rid of them, or they're a menace. The fact that Tupac used the word thug life over and over again, while he himself never lived it, only indicates his goal was to lower the energy, targeting the young black males from broken homes. This was all done to alter minds, and have young black men looked at as violent, criminals, etc. Look at his tattoo, his clothing line, all used for embedding that thug mentality in our minds. Let's look at an example. Here's Andre.
Well, I had to bring HBO down to see you, Bruno, because when we went to the unit yesterday, they didn't see you up there, and they inquired where was the rapper. How much time did you say if you get found guilty, you would get?
Oh, it changed my time. It would be 115.
115 years.
In 1997, he was 16 years old, a kid convicted of trying to murder a police officer. Notice he has adopted the thug life mindset.
Thug life. That's my philosophy, thug life. We'll tell you the definition of thug. I'm the definition of thug.
Okay, what is it about you that makes you be labeled a thug?
I ain't on no games.
Huh?
I don't go for nothing. I ain't on no games. I ain't gonna let nobody chump me if they big or small. I ain't going for nothing. I'ma handle mine the best way I can. If I gotta stab somebody, kill somebody, rob somebody, take somebody's stuff, do what I can. If I can't get it, then take it.
What made you develop such an attitude?
As you look in his cell, what do you see? A picture of Tupac, and if that's not enough, he calls his friends the Outlaws.
We got a thug family, we a family. We ain't separated, we a thug family.
Andre even admits what he's lost in.
I'm still searching for myself. I'm still lost in the life of thug life. You know what a thug is?
Thug is like when you go hard, you don't care for whatever.
Thug is a person who ain't never had nothing. Been struggling all their life, ain't never had nothing. Don't know what it mean. You can't sit here and say you ain't never had nothing. You got a coat on, you got shoes on that cost money. You can't say you ain't never had nothing.
Same to you.
Man, I tell him, man, I'm thug life forever. You know, man, I'm in this shit deep.
Always gonna be thug life?
Yeah.
The cycle continued because the brother of Andre has followed the same path.
Kevin Bruno insists he's innocent. As the judge prepared to sentence him today, he became disruptive, calling the prosecutor a liar and interrupting the judge. U.S. Marshals had to forcibly remove him from the courtroom. It was March of 2013. Officer Sean Hickman was on patrol riding his motorcycle when Kevin Bruno deliberately rammed his car into Hickman, sending him flying 15 feet through the air. Hickman waited nearly 30 minutes for an ambulance that night. A jury found Bruno guilty of 9 counts, including assault with a deadly weapon.
Do you see the domino effect of thug life?
Thug life, man. You go hard, man. Fuck everybody who you want to say fuck, man. You got to get yours and fuck everybody else. You don't get yours, then you just show. No, you got to do what you got to take five, man.
And I'm gonna make other motherfuckers really live this lifestyle.
As Lean Honor said, whatever is being said over and over again, that's the program that is being embedded into your subconscious mind, bypassing your conscious awareness, and being embedded into your subconscious mind as a program, and then later on in life, you begin to live that programming out without even thinking about it.
Came in on a one-way trip to prison. That's what I called him, on a one-way trip to prison.
Psychopath, that's what the fuck I am. So nigga, count your money and guarantee it's gonna get down, nigga. Cause I'm a motherfucking soldier. My pit bull will never stop. We're trying to rock, fuck cops. Them son of a bitches trying to take me off my damn block. But that's alright, cause I'm gonna be right tight. And every night, I'm screaming thug lights.
We also have the fake case of Ron Howard, which was used to push Tupac further into the spotlight.
This article that was in the paper where the guy killed an officer and then said it was because of your lyrics. I guess the actual tape was in the car or something.
Kind of bad.
Yeah, it's so much stuff, man. When you read that, what did you say?
I said, whoo. I mean, I got beat up by the police before. So to me, I felt like, whoo. But I didn't do it. So I felt like, whatever he got to do to stay out to the death penalty or whatever, let him do it. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, but you know what the judge say? Mama said lock you up.
Guilty.
Now wrap that.
Judge said guilty. Yeah. But the whole bad part of this thing was bothering me. And I had the vice president on TV talking about taking my record off the shelves. Police, every time they see me, they think I'm a cop killer. I never care what I do. Just because somebody just put my name into something, there's really no way, to get around it.
It is said that Ron Howard dropped out of school at 7th grade. He was 18 years old and married with 3 daughters and 1 son. One night, 43-year-old Trooper Bill Davidson had stopped Howard as his vehicle had a broken headlight. When Davidson approached the driver's side window of the car, he was shot in the neck. Howard drove off. He was apprehended later in the night with a 9mm pistol. The car was said to have been stolen. 3 days later, the officer died of his injuries. This story appears to be loaded with agendas. For starters, this happened around the time of poetic justice, and notice this article. It says, that day when Tupac became public enemy number 1, 1991. Tupac kicked off his rapping career with the release of his debut album Tupacalypse Now. 5 months later, Ronald Ray Howard allegedly killed the trooper. The cassette copy of Tupacalypse Now was found inside the murderer's vehicle. This alone can be connected to the video we made titled Tupac's Marketing. Defense lawyers argued at his trial that Howard's constant exposure to gangsta rap music and its anti-police messages influenced him to pull the trigger. Allegedly, Howard initially said he was listening to Gangsta Nip when he shot the trooper, but he later changed the story and told a grand jury he was listening to Tupac before he shot Davidson. But shortly after the crime, the White House gets involved, which should be a red flag. Ron Howard stated, "Where I'm from, we hate the police. They harass you for nothing, just because you are a young black male," like Tupac says. It had never occurred to me to give them the change of their coin. But that was before I listened to NWA, he thus assures under oath. When I think about it, I who spent my time listening to anti-cop music, I said to myself that this was the occasion. The gun, the music, the cop, it all came together. All this hatred came up in me. Listening to the wording, it sounds like something written by an establishment, a statement that follows the protest of Ice-T's and Time Warner's Cop Killer script, which was also released in 1992. Now that I think about it, Death Row Records have been funded since its inception by its distributor, Interscope, which for years was partially owned by Time Warner. Tupacalypse Now was released by Interscope Records, as we said, was owned by Time Warner. Now, that's what I call artist development. Also, notice the convicted cop killer going to trial. He's walking freely with no handcuffs, which goes against police procedure. If you're saying we can't see his hands, just notice how he opened the door just ahead of the police officer. Cop killers will never roam the court or jail hallway freely. The photo of Ron Howard getting arrested looks 100% staged. A photographer happened to be on scene to snap this photo of Ron looking into the camera. Yeah right, it's all lights camera action. Just like the Rosa Parks photo, Martin Luther King's photo, Lee Harvey Oswald and so many more. Trooper Bill Davidson was said to be 43 years old at the time of death. Here's his wife Linda Davidson. She shared a picture with no words, and it appears to be Trooper Bill Davidson. We know that it is him because of his nose, eyebrows, and chin. It all matches. Bill Davidson was in the military. This picture he's wearing the military hat. So ask yourself, he allegedly died in 1992 at the age of 43. Look at this picture. Does this look like a 43-year-old man? Is he fresh out of his 30s? No, this man is much older than 43. The trooper at age 43 would probably be one of these photos. In fact, the photo doesn't even appear to be the quality of a photo taken from a home camera in 1992. So this only proves Trooper Bill Davidson was seen after his alleged death in 1992, which means that the entire case was a sham, meant to help thrust Tupac and gangster rap into the mainstream, a psyop, which techniques are used by military and police forces to influence the beliefs, emotions, and behavior of citizens.
If you preach violence, the children are going to perceive it that way. And you know, you've got young minds here. You've got young children. When the child hears, go get a 9mm and blow somebody's head off, you can't do that. You know, it's everywhere. It's not just rap. It's every time. Stop preaching violence, and it might stop. You control your own destiny. Nobody can control your destiny. You control your destiny. Nobody.
Have some protection, but what happens is that the commercial packaging of evil power and selling it to kids in the form of violent lyrics, whether that be rock or rap, in the videos, is inspiring this behavior.
But what happens is that the commercial packaging of evil power and selling it to kids in the form of violent lyrics, whether that be rock or rap, in the videos, is inspiring this behavior.
Tupac helped enforce the programming of destructive behavior. He admits it in a song.
Why should I lie when I could dramatize? Niggas fell victim to my lyrics now, traumatized, 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 traumatized.
There's no reason for him to be dishonest when he can exaggerate a situation in which we all fell victim to his words, and some of us were physically injured.
I'ma really live this lifestyle, and I'ma make other motherfuckers really live this lifestyle.
No matter how much they try to change the word thug, it'll always be associated with something negative. People always remember negative events more than the positive ones, and the thug image Tupac portrayed is the one that stuck with the youth of that generation. Remember, repetition helps to make a theme stand out. Look for the implicit meaning of why the writer may have chosen to repeat those words. It's all mind control. We can look at the Beatles. Just like Tupac, the Beatles were a Masonic creation. Their songs were written for them, and handlers scripted their actions and words. They demonstrate that popular culture is really mind control. Beatles were a psychological operation run by the Tavistock Institute for Human Relations. The Beatles were created to advance the formation of a corrupted Brave New World-style slave populace, acting as social agitators. Like Tupac, the Beatles were presented as anti-establishment, but received endless mainstream media attention. A Beatles compilation was released in 1988 titled Past Masters. Past Masters is a Masonic term used to describe the former worshipful master of a Masonic lodge. The album contains exactly 33 songs. In the film, The Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles use a magic wand to cast spells on unsuspecting members of the public. Magic wands are made from holly trees, hence Hollywood, and are the instrument of the occult magician who has his audience, the populace. The group was a Masonic creation just like Tupac and many others. Listening to Tupac songs now you can hear the agenda behind them. Seems like the world is controlled by a satanic cult, the Masonic groups, that hates a god, and hates you and I.
If it had said television is more popular than Jesus, I might have got away with it.
Yeah. Well, some teenagers have said, have repeated your statements that the Beatles, I like the Beatles more than Jesus Christ. What do you think about that?
We meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it as a fact. And it is true, especially more for England than here.
It's made a statement in all the newspapers that they're getting more better than Jesus himself, and the Ku Klux Klan, being a religious order, is going to come out here the night that they appear at the Coliseum here, and we're going to demonstrate with different ways and tactics to stop this performance. The Klan is going to come out here because we're the only organization that will come out and make a stop to these accusations. This is nothing but blasphemy, and we're going to try to stop it any terror way we can, but it's going to stop. We're known as a terror organization. I think we have
a terror organization.
We have ways and means to stop this if this is going to be the case. Yes.
What ways and means?
Well, I don't want to say this, but there'll be a lot of surprises Monday night, I believe, when they get here.
Tupac's spell casting went undetected due to his charisma, his endless promotion by media, while delivering a rhythmic speech, punctuated by rhythms of emphasis on particular syllables and words, similar to those smooth-talking prosperity preachers.
When I say I live the thug life, baby, I'm hopeless. So when I say hopeless, and when I say when I say it like that, it's like I reach it.
But I want to talk to some people who need to reap something that money cannot buy. If you pick up the phone and sow money, you don't even need an anointing. If you sow money, you're going to reap money. God said, I'm going to give you some movement. You need to move so God can move. God said he would move if you would move.
It's why fans throw money at anything Tupac related. Tupac has become a form of religion. Rhythmic sound not only coordinates the behavior of people, but it also coordinates their thinking.
I was a fan of, during that time period, I'll say I was a fan of Tupac, and they were mourned by the world. But as I think back, like actually honestly think back, what did they do for me spiritually? So if someone is not leading you, they're not sharpening you the correct way, iron sharpening iron, of similar people, then they are a dissimilar knife, and the more you listen to them, the more they dull you, and you become weeds and tears and dull knives that become useless. Useful to the devil, perhaps. When you put your trust in people, with no morals, or people who only think about money, they end up betraying you at some point in time. What I'm trying to do, is to break this kind of hypnotic trance that celebrity has on people, because I was a victim of it as well. And I listened to these artists, they were being used to kind of distract people, and when you're distracted, you're dulled. You're either depressed or you're not spiritually fed by what these celebrities that have been put on this pedestal in front of you. You're not being spiritually fed by what they're giving you. And in worst case scenario, they actually look down on you. And if they don't look down on you, then they appreciate you to the extent that you are their fan. You worship them, and therefore they like you, But in the end, when it's all said and done, when this similar knife has dulled you because you've listened to their lyrics so many times, once you embody that and you're completely dulled, then you identify with the other destroyed knife as well, the destroyed celebrity. We're so hypnotized to, the media. And I mean, when you think about it, it's very effective and efficient to prop up one person for a lot of people to worship. Therefore, you can kill more than one with one stone. When you prop up one person, that will lead millions in the wrong direction. Think about it. Think about how effective and efficient that is to prop up one person to lead millions astray. And then when that one person who is dulling the knives, you know, not sharpening, but dulling the knives and making you dull and useless and weeds, when they're taken out of the way, rather than us saying, okay, now we can be sharpened by, you know, iron, we're mourning those that were destroying us in a subtle way, because, you know, in a hypnotic, subtle way. And it's like we were entertained all the way through, you know, we're being entertained as we're being destroyed. But their death, once you've been destroyed by them, their death will be mourned, but yours will not. No one will think about the spiritual deaths that were accomplished through that celebrity, even in the short amount of time that they lived. So I say that in order to try to break the hypnotic trance that a lot of us have been put under, because in our most susceptible time in life, we were introduced to this entertainment. We confuse entertainment with actual usefulness. We confuse entertainment with actual spiritual food. And when we step away from that entertainment and really think about it, we realize that they left us with nothing. They left us with nothing.
But Pop, before you leave, could you leave our youth with a positive message out there?
Fortunately, I don't have any positive messages for our youth except keep your head up. You know, don't give up. Just stay struggling. That's as positive as it gets.
Just stay struggling. That's as positive as it gets in 1993.
Come on and rock me. Come on and roll with me, baby. Come on and rock.